Major League Baseball Home Video presents Prime 9, Major League Baseball's best. Position by position, they are Major League Baseball's most dynamic competitors in the high-energy, house-rocking video, Prime 9. Go camp to camp with baseball's best. Exclusive interviews and off-the-field footage reveal their passions and personalities. Hosted by the wizard himself, Ozzie Smith, Prime 9 lets you see your favorite stars like you've never seen them before.
If I played you right now, I know exactly how to play you because I've been scouting you for the last 10 years. And I've been scouting a lot of other players. I've always used music to kind of inspire me a little bit.
Since I was a kid, we were always going to visit and doing things for the less fortunate. I feel it's necessary. I feel I have the capacity to do it, and I'm going to do it as long as they would like me to.
Give me a stock car, I'm going to do something to it.
Tell me, are you still the kid?
At heart.
At heart, yeah.
Prime 9, Major League Baseball's best, is available where videos are sold.
The journey began in June 1991.
Today, history was made when the owners of the National League and American League unanimously approved Florida's first Major League Baseball team.
1 year later, the Marlins took their first step with an eye on the future.
The once beaten in a coin flip Florida Marlins select R0028 Johnson, Charles Johnson, a catcher from the University of Miami.
In 1993, Florida played its first game, and the face of the Marlins soon began to take shape. But they needed a leader, someone with a proven record who could guide them to their first winning season, take them to the next step.
I think everybody has this perception that we went out trying to buy a pennant, trying to buy ourselves into the class of the Braves. You're not going to do that. I think right now we're in the same division with the Braves, but we're not in the same class yet.
At the head of Florida's class of '97 were newcomers Moises Alou and Bobby Bonilla. The Marlins solidified their pitching with Alex Fernandez. He backed up Kevin Brown, who himself had quite a year.
In there for called strike three. He got him looking, and Kevin Brown has fired a no-hitter in San Francisco. They're mobbing him.
The maturation of first draft pick Charles Johnson was the final touch in Florida's '92-win season. A wild card berth and a date in the division series against the National League West Division champion, San Francisco Giants.
Their first ever postseason game is a scintillating one as they win it in the bottom of the ninth, 2-1.
But then the Marlins had their share of late-inning heroics.
Here comes the runner home. Oh, it hits the mound. The Marlins win. Sheffield scores.
One more win, and the Marlins would make it to the League Championship Series in just their 5th year. Devon White provided the offense.
In the air to left. Bonds goes back. Bonds to the track. This ball is a grand slam home run.
And to slam the door on the Giants, closer Rob Nen. In their first foray into postseason play, Florida didn't lose a game.
And this could do it. Counsell throws him out. The Marlins sweep, and the Braves are next.
In Atlanta, the chop came to a stop as Florida caught the eyes of everyone.
He's looking at you, kid.
Maddox's defense betraying him here in the first.
He's looking at you, kid.
With Fernandez done for the year, the Marlins could have gone belly up. Instead, they beat one Cy Young Award winner after another. And when Kevin Brown got sick, 22-year-old Livan Hernandez struck gold.
Got him! It's his 15th. We can only wonder if the folks in Villa Clara, Cuba, the hometown of Livan Hernandez, are aware of what's happening in South Florida right now.
Back to Atlanta for Game 6, where the Marlins went back to their ace.
Leland lets Brown know that he's finished, and Brown lets him know that he wants to continue.
He's looking at you, kid.
By Brown, scooped up by Counsell to Renteria, and it's over. It would be sweet in any case, but how much sweeter is it that Jim Leland, for the first time in a long and distinguished career as a Major League manager, is on his way to the World Series.
The Cleveland Indians finished first in the Central Division. But against the Yankees in the division series, their bubble seemed about to burst, trailing by 1 in Game 4.
2 out here in the 8th. These Cleveland fans saying, don't let it end.
You know, Sandy Alomar, I mean, he's got so many big hits, and they all happen to be home runs this year that, you know, I was sitting there talking to Oral on the bench, and I go, if he hits another home run, I'm going to give him a big kiss.
Well hit.
What a gutsy performance he had right there. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, if we don't pull that out, we go home for the year.
And now Omar Vizquel with Grissom carrying the winning run in his back.
$20, I can name all 26 beat-up sauces.
Tim just found out his job is a pyramid scheme.
Oh, okay. Would hearing about the sauces cheer you up? Mango habanero, Nashville hot, salmon jalapeno, mild, wild, medium.
It was this triumph against the defending champions that first brought the word destiny into the minds of Cleveland fans. Game 5 brought it to life.
Into left center field. Giles is there. Celebrate.
There would be a new world champion in 1997. Why not Cleveland?
This is the first step. We still got 2 more to go. We got 4 more games to win in Baltimore, then we go.
But down 1 game to Baltimore, the Tribe trailed 4-2 in the 8th inning of Game 2. Then, Marquise Grissom.
Into left center field, deep left center field. Track, wall, gone. A 3-run home run for Marquise Grissom. And a 5-4 Indian lead in the 8th.
The series moved to Cleveland, where a classic pitching clinic unfolded as Oral Hershiser and Mike Mussina locked horns.
That is 15 strikeouts for Mussina, an LCS record.
Then, tied at 1 in the 12th, an amazing play.
If you're going to put the squeeze on, now would be a good time to do it. Speed on at third. Here comes Grissom. And safe at the plate. Indians win. Vizquel missed it. Davey Johnson arguing that the ball was fouled off by Vizquel. It looked like it was a foul ball to me. Unbelievable.
The next day, another bizarre play at the plate. Another sign of destiny.
In the dirt, to the plate, the runner is safe. Justice scores, and now here comes Alomar. 2-run score.
Tied at 7 in the 9th.
2 on, 2 out, and Sandy Alomar could cap a tremendous night. Into left center field. Indians win.
Cleveland had captured its 5th consecutive 1-run victory, but they need 1 more to reach the World Series. Once again, pitching was the story. This time, it was Mussina against Charles Nagy, scoreless baseball into the 11th. That's when a wondrous series subplot unfolded. Before the game, Tony Fernandez hit a batting practice ball that bruised Bip Roberts. So Tony took his place and came up to bat in the 11th.
That's well hit in the air to right. Track, wall, gone. And the Indians take a 1-0 11th inning lead. Tony Fernandez breaks through here in the 11th. Indians trying to win this 1997 ALCS. Tying run on with 2 out. Strike 3 called, and the Indians are headed back to the World Series.
It's been a funny day all day. You know, I go out there and BP. Never been hit by a line drive in my life. I get my thumb crushed, and the guys go, Tony's gonna win the game. And it has to have been divine intervention, because it wouldn't have happened. Oh, my goodness. Oh!
Presenting the 1997 World Series, featuring the Cleveland Indians and the Florida Marlins. The Marlins had become the passionate prize of South Florida, but a special bond had formed with the team in an area of Miami known as Little Havana.
Here in South Florida, we have about 1.2 million, 1.5 million Hispanics. About half of those are Cubans, and Cubans have suffered a lot of all their political situation, you know, having to leave their country. They've been suffering a lot lately, and lately, unfortunately, it's about 40 years.
But in the face of sorrow, baseball in Cuba has always flourished, and the proud Cuban baseball fans now in Florida now had a hero of their own. For Cuba's second greatest import was a 22-year-old man who defected in '95, pitcher Livan Hernandez.
Yo estoy ahí, tengo dos y ellos tienen dos ahí. Livan is the best. He's a young man, he got a lot of talent. He's a good one.
Make us proud about he's a Cuban.
Well, I tell you what, I never seen nothing like this. It's something you can believe but you didn't see it because, you know, everywhere you go, all you hear is Livan Hernandez.
No, yo me siento bien, a mí me gusta.
Well, I love the fans acting like that. I love signing autographs. I love people responding to me. I feel like I'm one of them. I feel a part of this community, and I don't feel any pressure from it. I feed off of it, and I just love Miami.
Okay, yo amo Miami.
And with Livan, the Game 1 starter, pride ran rampant. For the first time ever, a baseball season could both begin and end in Florida.
This is super special for us. The World Series in Florida for the first time. We are super happy. We're glad. We don't know how to explain our enjoyment.
Viva Livan, viva Miami.
On the menu inside the stadium, Game 1, as 39-year-old Oral Hershiser prepared to face a man 17 years his junior, one whose name was now on the lips of everyone.
With flashbulbs popping, the first pitch of this World Series is a called strike.
He's such a good player, and he's such a young kid, and what saddens us all, and the reason why he's touched all our hearts, is because he's not here to share that with his family. They're in Cuba. Although they hear it in the radio, it's not the same as sharing it and seeing it with him, and that's why he's got everybody's hearts here.
But facing his first batter, Livan was brought down to earth.
Now he slams one down the right field line, possibly extra bases, Sheffield up with it, not nearly in time to get the speedy Roberts.
Hernandez then took on Omar Vizquel, who sacrificed Roberts to third. After Manny Ramirez walked, Dave Justice sought to silence the Pro Player Stadium crowd.
A line into center. It drops for a hit, and the Indians grab the lead.
No, estaba bien, me sentía bien.
You know, I wasn't nervous. They scored a run off me, and then I was able to get the 3 outs, but I settled down and I felt fine, but I wasn't nervous at all.
Come on, Levon. It's 2-2. Settle down. Only give up 1 run, that's fine. We can get it back.
Remarkably composed for its 22-year-old. 2-2 pitch. And it's tapped towards second. Counsell. His play is to first, and they're out of the inning.
That's okay. That's okay.
Following the shaky start, Levon sharpened up and displayed a poise that belied his years.
I think he really started to settle in a little bit more. He started to loosen up a little bit and got on the mound and was making some good pitches. And when he does that, he's very tough to hit.
Called strike 3. And the fans reacting in anticipation of Hernandez striking out the side, which he does.
Over on the other side, Orel too gave up a run to tie the game at 1. But he hit a bump in the 4th. It began with an uncharacteristic 4-pitch walk to Bobby Bonilla. Hershiser was then late covering first on a sharp infield grounder by Darren Dalton.
Hit toward the hole. Roberts lunges, stops it. Who's going to cover it? Nobody.
The boy's done! The boy's done!
With first and second and no one out for Moises Alou, a question of strategy was broached.
With their leading RBI man for the season at the plate, Alou knocked home 115. Would you consider letting Alou lay one down here?
I was the RBI man this year for this team, so he's not crazy. He wasn't going to give me an bunch.
We've got first and second, no out, and Alou's up, and I get him at 0-2.
It would be nice to have him hit a home run right now. I agree with you. That would be. He's due.
And then I just threw a bad pitch.
The 0-2 pitch hit deep to left. If it's fair, it's a 3-run homer. It's out of here. It hit the foul pole, and the Marlins grab a 4-1 lead. Sacrifice? What sacrifice?
I never played in front of 67,000 people. I never played in front of the world. Here I come 1-1 ball game. I hit a 3-run home run. That can't beat that.
And 67,000 plus had another treat in store.
I think it was 2-1 count. And I told myself to look for something up in the zone. I was looking for something up in the zone a little bit more. And when the pitch started coming, I saw it, and then I was like, wow, it's going to be a pretty good pitch to hit.
And now this ball is belted. Back to back and into the upper deck.
Pitchers kind of like to give them up when they're far. You hate to give up the ones that get paint on the ball on the backside of the fence because you go, oh, just a little bit, and I wouldn't have given up a home run at an out, or, oh, my outfielder could have got that. But when you give them up like that, it's like they're all worth the same, so you might as well give them up a long way.
I've grown up in Florida all my life. I've been here since I was 5 years old. Always wanted to see Major League Baseball in Florida, and now I have a dream come true. And I can't believe I'm going to a World Series game. This is awesome. Awesome. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The first back-to-back World Series home run since 1986 gave Levon plenty of cushion. But then, why take chances?
3-2 pitch. Hernandez somehow came up with that ball.
Watch the reaction of Hernandez. This ball is really smoked. Down he goes. He's got it. There's the throw, and Roberts is gone.
Cleveland cut the deficit to 3, but that soon changed when Jeff Conine, in his first ever World Series at bat, singled home Gary Sheffield to make it 6-2. That marked the end for baseball's premier postseason pitcher. With 8 wins, 1 loss, 1 save, and a 1.83 earned run average in his postseason career, Hershiser, in just 5 1/3 innings, would be tagged for an improbable 7 earned runs. Still in 6th, Jim Thome made it a point to bring Cleveland back, in the face of skeptical Florida fans.
Thome's looking, he's pointing his bat. He thinks he's Babe Ruth.
In the air to left, this ball is well hit. Alou is going back. It clears the scoreboard for a home run. There is the first home run for Jim Thome in the postseason and since mid-September to the opposite field where many of his home runs go.
2 more hits, and Levon's night was also through. But he had exceeded expectations.
Gotta love him, gotta love him. Okay. Woohoo! He's taking tonight's game like it's any other game.
Well, not exactly.
That happens in the heat of battle. You get that way because I felt that I could have done a lot more than I did, and I could have helped my team a lot more. I've never done that before, but I think it's because we're in the finals, we're in the World Series, and I just feel that every game is important, and I didn't do as well as I should have done. The team understood, and they backed away from me a little bit when I threw my glove, but they understood that I was upset with myself.
Leading by 3 in the top of the 9th, Florida called on closer Rob Nen, who with 1 out gave up a pair of hits. But with the tying run at the plate in the person of Tomei, Nen put a new blip on the radar gun.
He can't hit you, he can't hit you. Come on, fight!
And down he goes. And that one was ratcheted up to 102. He is throwing some high-octane gas. Here it is, 101, 102. See what you can do with it. Alomar has already had some big moments this postseason. Does he have one more in him?
One more strike, come on, one more strike!
The 1-2 pitch. Got it! Game 1 belongs to the Marlins as Nen closes it with a flourish.
Florida had won the first round, but that in no way diminished the confidence of Cleveland fans.
How many players on your franchise have World Series experience? 4, 5, is it?
4 or 5. Doesn't matter, though.
The Indians have 15 experienced
You got
World Series
experience.
players. Experience.
Experience of losing.
Marlins 1-0. We're going all the way.
You don't have Kevin Brown. You don't have Levon Hernandez. You don't have the bench of Eisenreich. You don't have Cliff Floyd, our secret weapon.
We don't need him.
Yes, you do need him.
With our ace, Kevin Brown, you know, we're feeling real confident, but we have to be careful because Cleveland is a very powerful team.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Switch.
For Cleveland in Game 2, Chad Ojay, the losing pitcher of record in the 2 American League Championship Series games Baltimore won. His opponent, the winner of 2 games in the NLCS, Kevin Brown. Brown hadn't lost a decision in his last 14 starts, but he made a pitch to change that with 1 out in the top of the 1st.
Vizquel jolts one to right. Back goes Sheffield, away back, and it's off the top of the wall. Vizquel on his way for 2, and he'll stop there, missing a home run by about a foot.
1 out later, Justice made Brown pay, with Omar now on 3rd.
Ready!
This ball is lined to right, and they're on the board first. Justice comes through in the 1st inning again.
While CJ took the mound to try and calm his pitcher down, an attentive Charles Johnson Sr. displayed a father's knack for insight.
Yeah, Charles worked hard at calling games, you know, and Kevin has a lot of confidence in Charles.
And Dad has a lot of confidence in his son to keep Justice from reaching 2nd.
Running situation, he may run. But he doesn't have the Ken Lawson speed now. You know, he don't have that kind of speed or the Marquis Grissom speed. But he'll run.
There he goes on the pitch to Williams, challenging Johnson. Never a good idea.
Yes! There you go! Yes! There you go! There you go! There you go!
It remained 1-0, and in the bottom of the 1st, Gary Sheffield had a moment of fear, with Edgar Renteria on 1st and 1 out.
There goes Renteria, and the pitch hits Sheffield, and he is hopping around in pain.
Boy, that hurt. That hurt. Yeah, that hurt us.
This ball just kept running in on him. Running fastball from OJ, and Sheffield, who's one of those guys that dives in, that one nailed him.
Well, you know, I've been hit there before, and that's the same hand where I broke my thumb, and this is the same wrist I had a problem with in Milwaukee. So this is a bad hand for me, and to get on this hand, hit on his hand, and it's 75 degrees, and you don't have no feeling, you know, you think something is wrong.
Sheffield shook it off, and that put runners on 1st and 2nd. Then, following a fly to center by Bonilla, Jeff Conine looked to get his second series RBI.
Lines it to center. This will tie the game. Grissom over to cut it off. Renneria scores. Sheffield stops at second, even at 1.
Having seen Conine and Justice play deja vu, Moises Alou had to wonder if with men on, he could repeat his Game 1 success. Almost.
Back at the track and caught back there by David Justice.
I still having nightmares about that pitch. I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about OJ, but he made a mistake and I should have taken advantage of him. I was so mad because that was a hanger breaking ball and that would have been my second 3-run Johnson right there. And I would have, I mean, that would have been a different ball game.
Alou helped soothe the pain with a leadoff double in the 4th, and that provided Johnson with a bevy of options.
Well, let's see if Charles Johnson here, with the runner at second and nobody out, tries to hit one to the right side to move him.
Let's go, CJ!
1-0 pitch is tapped out in front of the plate. Alomar pegs to third. They got him.
I charged the ball. I saw Moises Alou had a bad jump in second base, so I took a chance to throw the ball at third base. It was a risky chance, but I made a perfect throw and the guy was out. So I think it was an aggressive play by myself, and I'm glad that I threw the third base because I think that cut the rally down.
Let's go.
On to the 5th, where the Indians staged an uprising.
Two singles here in the 5th, first and second with 1 out.
Florida fans felt fear, for the World Series hit machine, Marquise Grissom, had a predetermined plan.
I worried myself to death before the game, worrying about, I'm in the 8-hole, are they going to pitch to me? But I got the idea after about 20 minutes before the game that I'm going to go up there and I'm going to swing the bat. And if the ball's around the plate, I can hit it. But if I go up there and dig a hole for myself, being defensive, I'm coming right up out of my game, and I didn't want to do that.
Renneria can't get this one. Williams is being waved home by Newman. Here's the throw from Alou, not in time. 3 singles produce a run in the 5th, and Cleveland is back in front.
With that single, little Mr. October had tied Roberto Clemente with hits in 14 straight World Series games. Both Grissom and Alomar moved up when OJ sacrificed. A decision had to be made. 2 out, first base open. To bip or not to bip?
Even though Vizquel has 2 base hits in this ballgame, I would definitely think about trying to get Bip Roberts to chase something out of the strike zone rather than going right after him. He's a much better hitter than Vizquel is.
And there's some proof. Renneria can't get to it. 1 run home. Here comes the second. And it's 4-1 Cleveland.
Go. Listen. It's not quiet. It's quiet.
The silence of the fans grew deeper when Sandy Alomar gave his dad a memorable 54th birthday present.
Sandy Alistar.
Here's a rocket to left, and this one's not coming back. The 4th home run of this postseason for Sandy Alomar makes it 6-1 Cleveland. Well, if you can tell that you can hit a breaking ball any harder than Alomar just hit that one, you'll never make a believer out of me.
6 earned runs in just 6 innings for Kevin Brown, and a 6-1 Marlins defeat. Cleveland cut bait with a split. Now, it was back to the Jake.
All right, there we go, All right, baby. All right. We're on the board.
When the series moved to Ohio, there was a change in the weather. Gone were those balmy breezes. This was October by the lake.
The only thing we can tell fans is to come down and be dressed for some inclement weather. A little rain, maybe a little thunder, maybe a little snow. Who knows? And By the way, turn on the Weather Channel and see if there's a big great glob over Lake Erie.
You know, when you're playing, your adrenaline's going and your body's a lot warmer than, you know, it appears to be. The only advantage we have is they have injured players. It's hard to get loose, and if you haven't played in cold weather for a long time, it's a little bit more difficult to grip the baseball.
It's a World Series, and I mean, you just can't worry about cold weather at this point, really. You're trying to win ball games.
In the face of a 23-degree wind chill, Florida called on Al Leiter to start Game 3. Cleveland went with Charles Nagy. And as the game got underway, the hot topic was whether the cold would affect the bruised wrist of Gary Sheffield.
He was hit on the back of the hand in the area of the wrist in Game 2, continued in the game, and reports no ill effects entering Game 3.
Well, it's sore, but you know, I had it, you know, padded pretty good. I had taped, and then I have a pad over the tape, and that day I think I was wearing sleeves also, so that kind of protected a little bit, you know, the impact of the pitch, and the guy wasn't throwing 95 miles an hour also, so he was throwing about 88, 90 miles an hour, so that helped also.
The 2-1 pitch is hit high and deep to left.
Got it, Bibbs got it.
It's gone.
That's all right, Charlie. That's our highlights for the night.
Perhaps. But leading by 1 in the bottom of the first, it was Leiter's turn for lowlights.
Bounce to Leiter. He backs up to snare it and then drops it. Roberts is aboard, and we wait for the scoring.
E1. With 2 out and runners on first and second, Matt Williams caught a break.
Come on, man! You're the man! Woo!
Hit into right center field, but in a good spot, and it drops. Roberts scores the tying run. Justice speeds to third. It sounded as if he might have broken his bat.
But there was no justice for Leiter.
Another broken bat. And the Indians have the lead. Look at Leiter. He's saying to himself, I'm pitching in on their hands, I'm busting their bats, and I'm losing.
Johnson opened the floor to third with a solid base hit. And after Craig Counsell struck out, Nagy began living on the edge.
Ball 4. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Sheffield. And now the 3-1 pitch. He walks in a run to tie the game.
Nagy towed the line again in the fourth against a locked-in Darren Daulton.
In the air to right center and very well hit by Darren Daulton, and with the win, you can tell it goodbye.
A 3-2 lead for Florida, but not for long. For in the bottom of the fourth, it was Leiter who suffered the base on balls bugaboo. He walked Alomar, Tomei, Grissom, and Vizquel to tie the game at 3. Ramirez took the stage with 2 out.
Ramirez rolls it slowly. Bonilla coming in. Throws, double clutches, the ball gets away. 1 run is home. Now here comes Grissom, 2-run score. He had a play if he made it cleanly. Once he double clutched, he might have been better off holding it.
Again, there's 2 outs, and I'm playing Manny Ramirez extremely deep because he can hit the ball well. I mean, he's got great power, and he hits the ball crisp. He hits the ball hard. I actually got a very good jump on that ball. And, you know, as I talked to Tommy Sant looking back, I probably had the grip the first time, but I didn't quite feel it. So I went back again to make sure I could feel it, and I wound up throwing it away.
Cleveland had scored 3 to take a 5-3 lead with the benefit of just 1 infield hit.
Nice play, Bobby!
In the 5th, Cleveland fans began to feast as Leiter experienced an unfortunate recurrent nightmare. 1 man out, 1 man on.
First baseman, number 25, Jim Tomei. Come on, Jimmy! Let's go, Jimmy!
Tomei takes ball 1.
Really all night I was looking for a ball out over the plate to drive.
Up the alley, little double here.
Fastball high 2-0.
You know, it almost seems like he's running into a danger zone here with Tommy. He's been behind on him every time he's been up there, always behind, and Tommy with a chance to rip at him.
And he does rip it to deep right field and gone.
We got the feeling that it was over at that time. We had a real good feeling that with the home run, it put us over the top and that we could relax a little bit.
The confidence was understandable. The Jake very rarely let 4-run leads slip away. But with one on in the top of the 6th, Jim Eisenreich issued a most unexpected warning.
Deep to right, and Eisenreich has connected. Goodbye.
I think the Jim Eisenreich home run was the biggest hit of the game.
Yeah, I thought Izzy's hit was a big key in that particular ball game.
When he put us within two runs, and that's when guys went to believing that we're going to win this game.
When I came in the dugout after Izzy hit the home run and got us 2 back, you know, everybody was upbeat and said, whatever it takes, you know, we got to keep going, whatever it takes. And that, you know, you have to have that attitude right now because there is no tomorrow.
In the bottom of the 6th, Bonilla followed Dalton's creed. Still battling a sore hamstring, he came up big with a runner on second.
The 3-2. Smash. Bonilla dives to smother it. Throws across the diamond to Dalton. What a play.
Bonilla didn't double clutch this time, and his brilliance kept the Cleveland lead at 2. In the top of the 7th, the call went out to hometown boy Brian Anderson to maintain that lead. But Brian quickly surrendered a single to Craig Counsell, and a ground out by Devon White moved Counsell to second.
Pella fiberglass window material is impact resistant, warp resistant, and fade resistant, and it's 10 times stronger than Anderson Vibrex. Pella window replacement on sale now.
Jackson was summoned to face the first Colombian ever to play in the World Series, Edgar Renteria.
From some heat. It's this one sharply and through the middle. They'll be within 1. Counsell is being waved home. Grissom's throw is cut off, and it's 7-6. Ooh. Suddenly, it's a 1-run game, and here's Sheffield. A called strike.
I seen where Marquise was playing me pretty much to left center. And I just told myself, don't try to pull the ball because, you know, they positioned it, you know, to catch anything I hit over there unless I hit it out the park. So I just told myself just to, you know, stay on the ball. And if he throws away, just try to go away. And he threw it out over the plate.
1-1 pitch, hammered to deep center field. Grissom on the run. It short hops the wall. It's going to tie the game. Renteria being waved home on the double by Sheffield. 7-up.
The beauty of baseball had ambushed the Tribe. For a game that appeared to be over, was far from it. Come the bottom of the 7th, Felix Heredia was in his 3rd solid inning of work, and he was now getting plenty of help from the Florida defense.
Tomey with a drive. He's hit one earlier. Sheffield's going back. Sheffield to the wall with a leap. He caught it. He caught it. He caught it. The play of the series. The play of the World Series from Gary Sheffield.
As the game moved to the 9th, it became a test of survival. The frigid winds blew stronger as the night grew longer. Eric Plunk walked Bonilla to open Florida's 9th, and with the cold and the hamstring, the question arose, do you pinch run for Bonilla?
In that particular case, I'd already used Kurt Abbott, and I wouldn't have had another infielder had I run for Bobby had somebody got hurt, so that was the main reason there.
The point became moot when Dalton pulled the trigger.
Rifles this one by the diving Fernandez. Bonilla is going to try for 3rd with a sore hamstring. Here's the throw, and it gets by Williams, goes into the camera well, and Bonilla's waved home.
I was just fired up, you know, caught a break there. I was able to go home, and all I could say to myself was, yeah, we got the lead. And that's all I was thinking about. I took a gamble, and it paid off.
And if ever there was a reason for Cleveland fans to leave their seats, it was the carnage that followed.
First and third, one out. Quick throw to first, and it gets away, but then it hit the umpire. Now Toby can't pick it up in time, and Dalton slides home.
Unbelievable.
With the runner going, and Fernandez covering, the hit and run works to perfection. And now they have runners at the corners again.
One can't pitch. Take him out.
Nerve-wracking.
Hitting it hard, Fernandez has it bounce away.
Whoa!
Oh!
It's all unraveling for the Indians here in the ninth.
Third error of the inning. No errors all game, third error of the inning.
Almost everything that can go wrong in a single inning has gone wrong here. As a 7-7 game turns to 10-7 and now more. Sheffield on the first pitch knocks home two more with a single to right.
Marlin fans are happy.
After Bonilla knocked home the final two runs, the onslaught, mercifully, was over.
It's going to sound like a football score. It's 14-7.
Dolphins over the Browns, and with the likes of Jim Brown nowhere to be found, the chant of Marlins fans filled the air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's doing the pitch. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's doing the pitch.
When you're a touchdown ahead with 3 outs to go, in baseball, that's pretty good.
But of course, it had to be better than good. For as Rob Nen struggled through a 43-pitch ninth inning, the Indians closed the gap.
1 run home, 2 runs home, 14-11. And 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. The Marlins got 7 in the top half, Cleveland with 4 in the bottom half. Slow roller, Counsell, charging, throwing, it's over.
The second most runs, the second longest game in World Series history.
Well, I think it was ugly for 26 outs for me. And when they hit that ground ball to Counsell, it became the most beautiful game I ever saw in my life.
I knew as bad as I felt about it. I knew that the players were really probably feeling worse. And there's no time in a series to feel sorry for yourselves. And just really tried to give everybody a little ray of sunshine.
First of all, it's cold. And I've never seen a masterpiece game in the cold yet. We're called the boys of summer for a reason, and I think people are missing that.
Of course, no two baseball games are ever alike, much like the new element that precipitated Game 4.
I'm in the Christmas spirit with this snow.
Yes, that's snow.
It really snowed heavily here in Cleveland. Nothing that really stayed on the ground, but batting practice had to be stopped for a little while. Both clubs did hit tonight, despite the fact that it was very cold.
This is baseball by Courier and Ives.
The snow had stopped by game time, just in time for Hall of Fame pitcher Phil Niekro to make his series pitch.
Right down the middle of the plate, again.
Something the Cleveland pitchers certainly hope to duplicate.
Jeez, absolute pure petrol.
With a game time temperature of 38 degrees, it was the coldest World Series game ever played. And Tony Saunders, a 23-year-old left-hander, sought to loosen up. His opponent, 21-year-old right-hander Jarrett Wright, was the son of former big league pitcher Clyde Wright. And Jarrett was wise beyond his years.
If you get caught up in the World Series of, you know, everything going on around you, it's, I mean, you wouldn't be able to do it. You just try to go in, you know, like a normal game and stay within yourself and, you know what you can do and just keep it, you know, everything, you know, right around you, keep it intact.
The youngest pitcher to start a World Series game since Brett Saberhagen in 1985 got off to a rousing start.
His 2-2 pitch. They check at third. He's punched out.
But Jarrett quickly faced a test, one most rookies never take.
Renteria hits one into right, and it drops for a hit.
Sheffield followed with a walk, putting 2 men on with 1 out. For Jarrett, a pivotal moment, to be sure.
The 1-2 is bounced to second. Fernandez throws, takes to Vizquel, on to first, double play from the Indians in the first.
Jarrett had passed his first round with flying colors, but this was a match of 2 rookie pitchers, the first such series game in 14 years. And with 1 out, Omar Vizquel began to make life miserable for Saunders. It just goes to show how quickly a team can pull one over on you.
Hey, take a look at Ramirez as he steps in the box. When's the last time you saw a guy wear socks like that? Are they up over his pants?
Come on, Manny, let's go! Base hit here, let's go!
He's not exactly styling, but I think warmth rather than fashion is the number one concern here.
Here comes Santa Claus.
In the air to right, Sheffield going back. Sheffield to the wall. Goodbye. Forget about the socks. It's the way he socked that baseball that matters.
It's a big momentum starter for us in that game because of, you know, the way that we lost Game 3 wasn't pretty, but for him to come up and hit that big 2-run homer in the first inning sets us in motion for Game 4.
But Tony Saunders wasn't out of danger yet. Trailing 2-0, he relinquished a single to Williams and paid dearly for it.
A liner for a hit. Toward the gap. If it gets through, a run might score. On his way to third is Williams. Newman's waving him home. Could be close on Renteria's throw. Safe.
Great slide at home plate there by Matt Williams to avoid the tag.
Well, Charles was standing at the plate, and as I got closer to him, he started to come up the line. And I knew that the throw, you know, he was going for the ball, the throw was going to be up the line a little bit, so I tried to go to my left and tried to slide around him. It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
The 3-0 score held fast until the third, when Cleveland scratched out still another run. Then, with Justice on second, Williams on first, and nobody out, Alomar broke his bat quite nicely.
Sandy! It's your year, man!
The 3-1 pitch is hit through the hole on the right side. Justice being waved home by Newman. Sheffield's throw is cut off by Dalton. It's 5-0.
When Jim Tomei walked to load the bases, Tony's night came to a close. The Marlins sought to stem the tribe with Antonio Alfonseca, who made the trip to face Tony Fernandez, still with nobody out.
Come on, Tony!
1-1 pitch line to center. The Indians pour it on. 1 run home, and they'll play it station to station. 6-0 on the Fernandez hit.
Abruptly, the outburst came to an end. Florida picked up 1 in the 4th to make it 6-1, and Jarrett's task in the 6th was to keep it that way. But with 1 out, he walked Darren Dalton. Cleveland hearts, so calm up to this point, were quickly set aflutter by Moises Alou.
And here's a drive. Roberts turns and watches it leave. And just like that, it's 6-3.
And with 1 swing of the bat, they figure they have a chance of winning again.
More potential trouble for the tribe as Jim Eisenreich then singled. But the rookie persevered.
Johnson lines it to Tomey. It's going to be a double play after this little do-si-do with Eisenreich is over with.
The Book of Jarrett, Chapter 6. Baptism by fire in the World Series. Cleveland scored 2 more to make it 8-3 after 7. And in the 8th, Matt Williams came up with 1 man on. Matt had hit a World Series home run for the Giants in '89. Now, he sought to become just the 7th player ever to do so for both leagues.
But this is a long drive to left, Williams putting the finishing touches on a perfect night. 2 singles, a homer, and a pair of walks. Second Indian homer of the night, bringing the score to 10-3 in the 8th.
With such a commanding lead in the 9th, it would have taken quite a leap of faith for reliever Brian Anderson to think the Marlins might duplicate their Game 4 explosion. But he made certain with his 3rd straight solid inning of relief.
1 strike away from a tied World Series. Check swing roller, Anderson. It's down to a best 2 out of 3. The coldest game in World Series history goes to Mike Hargrove's Indians.
The 10-3 triumph brought Anderson a slew of congratulations, but he made sure to thank each and every person behind his series save.
I don't know. That was just good manners being raised by my mom. I think if if someone gives you a compliment, if you don't thank them, if mom's around, she's going to give me a little smack. So I know to say thank you after I've been complimented.
Cleveland players and fans alike had made a fashion statement in this series, an over-the-top trend that began in August.
Enjoy the game. Thank you.
Woo! I think in Anaheim, Jim Thome's birthday, he wears his socks up high, so as a dedication to Jim Thome on his birthday, that's what we decided to do. Everybody was going to surprise him.
So everyone would put their socks up, and I think we won, and we never put them back down.
They definitely went on a winning streak, and here we are, World Series.
World Series.
Success spins a yarn that is tough to, well, find a hole in.
It's a show of unity for the Indians. They're all doing it, and we do it for the 10th man thing.
Game 5 produced a rematch between Oral Hershiser and Livan Hernandez, looking to become the first rookie in 50 years to win 2 World Series games. And the last game in Cleveland had the fans sky high.
Florida, not this year, baby. Are you the real seat ticket holders?
Hershiser ran into trouble in the top of the 2nd, with Dalton on 3rd and Johnson at the plate.
Hopped into shallow right. It could be trouble. Coming on as Ramirez can't get it. The Marlins have the lead on a bloop single by Charles Johnson. Dalton scoring.
Come on, Oral, settle down.
Come on, Earl, we're on your side, guy.
And he walks Counsell.
That put runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 out. The batter, Devon White, who to this point in the series was struggling, batting .167 through the first 4 games.
But he lines one over the leaping Roberts and comes through here. A run is home, and they're going to wave Counsell home. The throw is to 2nd. Now the peg home. They're going to get him in time. So they get 1, but cut down the trail runner at the plate.
However, Livan also struggled in his half of the 2nd, with Thome on 3rd.
Line to right, base hit.
Beautiful piece of hitting by Alomar, and the Indians are on the board.
Hernandez went on to walk the bases loaded, but managed to hold on to the 2-1 lead. And when the inning ended, his teammates held his temper.
I was very upset because of the run I had given up and a few of the pitches that I was trying to throw. But they came over and they told me just to keep doing what you're doing because, you know, your approach is right. The pitches you're trying to make are right. You just need to get back into the strike zone the way you're capable of. But, you know, his delivery was solid. Everything was good. And sometimes, you know, you throw the ball well and things don't happen right. And that's what the case was.
But with 2 out in the 3rd, Hernandez walked both Williams and Thome and opened the door for Alomar to set a postseason record with 19 RBIs.
Come on, Sandy. Come on. Turn on it.
1-0 pitch is given a ride to left. Alou to the wall. It's gone. 4-2 Cleveland. All 4 runs driven home by Sandy Alomar Jr., whose dream season continues.
The first man since 1960 to have 10 RBIs in a World Series had put the Indians up by 2. But come the top of the 6th, Hershiser, who had retired 10 straight, gave up a single to Sheffield and a walk to Bonilla. Moises Alou had hit a 3-run homer off Oral in Game 1. Cleveland fans did not expect another.
Alou! He's a loser!
2-1 pitch, hammered to center. Grissom going back, looking up, out of here. For the second time in this World Series, Moises Alou wallops a 3-run homer off Oral Hershiser. Hargrove's lead is gone.
He made a big mistake on Lou. The pitch was high in the strikes on slider. He hung, and you know, in that situation, you hang a pitch to a guy like that, he's gonna make sure you pay for it.
Levon, meanwhile, stayed calm. The dugout therapy had worked, and he didn't allow another hit till the 7th.
Another breaking ball hit back to him. To second for 1. Renneria to first. And a double play.
Leading by 2 as the 7th inning came to a close, Levon was displaying a newfound poise. And in the 8th inning, with Jeff Juden now pitching, Florida sought to add to its 6-4 lead.
I hate to say this, but Alou comes up again.
And Alou, once again, was the spark.
Check swing, Juden has it, heads to first. Just in time, or did he pull him off? Safe. Safe.
Look at this. Oh, no way. No way. No way.
Moises then advanced to second with a stolen base, with the benefit of another bang-bang call that went Florida's way.
Alou almost looked like he came off the bag after he went on top of the bag. Roberts held the tag on him. He did come off the bag and should have been out.
Alou moved to third, and CJ brought him home.
And now Johnson lines it over the drawn-in infield for a very important run.
This is killing me. This is just killing me. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying.
With the Marlins holding fast to a commanding lead, one more run seemed of little consequence. But Moises made it happen anyway in the top of the 9th, driving home pinch runner Alex Arias to now give the Marlins an 8-4 lead. Little did they know just how important that one run would be.
Needing 4 to tie, the Indians will send up Roberts, Vizquel, and Ramirez against the amazing Levon Hernandez.
Come on, Bill! Go now! Get him, Eddie! Come on, Eddie!
A bouncer down to Conine, covering is Hernandez. He gets it to him for the first out. Wait a minute. Did he pull him off the bag? Yes, he did.
Save! He called him safe. He didn't touch the bag. Woo!
Ken Kaiser said he must have come across the bag and then caught it after he crossed. And Roberts is safe.
Well, he's saying he missed the bag, is what he's saying.
I worked up a hunger watching this thing.
Omar Vizquel then singled and brought to a close Senor Octubre's night.
He's getting tired. He's getting tired. Hell, he's been in right in here.
Leland thanked his rookie and put his future in the hands of closer Rob Nen.
Bring on the heat.
So that's the first out.
Well, he brought on the heat there, didn't he? We need a hit here. Definitely need a hit.
And when you really need a hit, justice tends to prevail.
Through the box, base hit. It'll score 2 and make it 8-6.
Bring him on! Bring him on! There you go! That's the way! That's the way!
A would-be double play ball was then thrown away by Counsell, leaving one man on for Tomei.
Give! Tomei!
He had a 9th inning showdown with Nen in Game 1 as the tying run. Nen won that one. He lines it over Renneria. It's going to be 8-7.
That's 2! Come on! Come on! Come on! It's a rally, folks! It's a big rally! Welcome to Cleveland!
In the hands of Sandy Alomar, the outcome rested. Cleveland fans couldn't have asked for more.
You can end this game. You can run for mayor. You can run for governor. Come on, let's end this.
Alomar, who's had such a huge postseason, and 4 RBIs tonight. The 1-2. Swinging a high drive to right. Sheffield, not quite to the track. and the Marlins will take a 3-2 lead home to Florida.
It's okay, guys. Come on. Just got to pick up 2 in Florida. Got to pick up 2 in Florida. Oh, well.
And so this climate-conscious series shifted back to sunny Florida, where the game-time temperature for Game 6 was 42 degrees higher than for Game 4. With their backs to the wall in this sea of sun, the Indians looked to Game 2 winner Chad Ojai to keep the ship afloat. Heady stuff for someone who hadn't won a game in June, July, or August. His fans liked the hand they were dealt. But the home fans said, "Go Fish," with their ace on the mound. Kevin Brown had the backing of 67,498, the largest series crowd in 34 years.
Brown, total domination tonight.
Brown, yes!
Total domination.
We're winning it tonight.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
Johnson, Gold Glove. We got Sheffield going. Lou's getting hot.
Brown's out of
Doing
here.
it for Fernandez.
He's going to be smoking tonight. Smoking.
But in the top of the second, Matt Williams got credit for a most generous single. And Brown then walked both Jim Thome and Marquise Grissom to load the bases. That brought to the plate a man who hadn't had a hit since high school in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Pitcher Chad Ojai.
We know Chad Ojai can bunt in a sacrifice situation, but that's not in order now. He swings and taps it foul.
He actually threw some good pitches to hit, but his ball really sinks a lot. And, you know, I was right on it, but it just disappeared, you know, under my bat, and I fouled a few balls off.
It's a terrific at bat. How many has he fouled off? At least 2 or 3.
And I just made up my mind. I'm just going to try to bloop one in to the right field side.
And he lines the ball into right field for a base hit. How about that? 1-run home. Second man being waved in. Johnson leaps to the peg, and by the time he comes down, the Indians are in front 2-0.
You know, when I got the hit, I was just like, oh, go through, and it did. And then I looked back and I saw Thome score from second. I was like, oh my gosh, 2 runs just scored. And I'm like, no way. Because, you know, you're not used to doing that, and you've never done that in a game. And, you know, I hadn't done that since I was a little kid. But I was like, wow, this is fun. This is what baseball's about.
Of course, Chad's primary purpose was to pitch, something he did most successfully, with a little help from his friends on the defense.
And it's given a ride to deep left center field. Grissom on the run. Grissom with a fine catch, almost 430 feet from home plate, and made it look almost nonchalant going to the basket catch.
Did you see that?
Yes.
That was like a Willie Mays type of catch. Too bad it wasn't for us.
Ojai was certainly impressed. His 2-0 lead remained intact, but not for long. For Omar Vizquel put on quite a show in the top of the third against a pitcher he was 3 for 31 against before this series.
He goes 3-2 again, I'm gonna have a stroke.
The 3-2 pitch. Fair ball by the diving Conine, and down the line. Vizquel on his way to second. Sheffield has trouble with it, but Omar will hold with a double.
Then on to third.
Can't take it.
And now Ramirez lifts one to left center field that should at least get a run home.
He should score on that. He could easily score on that.
And Omar can walk home.
Now leading 3-0, Ojai seemingly had the Marlins hook, line, and sinker. Most frustrated was Jeff Conine, who was Willie Mays by Grissom his last time up.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Conine. And he hits one solidly to left. Coming on is Justice for the skidding catch.
Once again, Conine was robbed by the fundamentally perfect Cleveland defense. And since it was doing such a nice job, Ojai thought it only fitting that he help yet again on offense.
On to the fifth, and Chad Ojai is the leadoff man against Kevin Brown. First pitch, another base hit. Depending upon how hard he wants to run, maybe extra bases. Looking for a double. Sheffield's throw, not in time. How about this?
I'm not the speediest of guys. I just kept running as hard as I could, and actually got to slide, and that was fun too. I got a little strawberry on my knee to show that to everybody. So I took pictures of it last night and everything.
O.J. tested his wheels on Bip Roberts' base hit, and when Manny Ramirez went deep, Chad came in to score. The first pitcher with 2 hits and 2 RBIs in a series since Mickey Lolich in 1968. And the first Cleveland pitcher to drive in a World Series run since 1920.
And O.J. right in the middle of 3 of those 4 runs.
Interesting to see later on as this game moves along if this base running is going to affect Chad O.J.
Yeah, it did. You know, when you're not used to running the bags, everything is sped up, and your heart's pounding, your legs are getting tired, and it did carry into the next inning a little bit. And I told him in the 6th inning, hey, if I get in trouble, get me out as soon as possible, because I don't want to mess this up for anybody. And, I don't want to try to be some type of hero where I'm out there and I start giving up a lot of runs and give up a lead.
Florida did score a run in the 5th. And when O.J. walked Sheffield to open the 6th, Cleveland's one-man show gave way to Mike Jackson. It was a most remarkable performance by O.J., who left with a 4-1 lead. But a shaky situation got worse when Eisenreich was walked by Jackson, and a ground out put runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 out.
I'm telling you, this is the inning. It has to be the 6th inning. They have to come back, man.
And that's when Omar Vizquel made the play of the series.
Bouncing ball toward the hole. Vizquel stops it. Throws from the outfield. What a play! Oh, man. He saved 2 runs and ended the inning.
I made this play before, so, it didn't surprise that I made that play, of course, but, the situation just make it a really big play. It was a really special moment for me. I think I ran that play number 1 to all the other ones that I made just because this is the 6th game of the World Series, and everybody wants to get things going. Obviously, that was a big rally for them, but, with that play, maybe we set them down.
Jose Mesa is asked to finish this and bring us to only the 2nd Game 7 in the World Series in the last 10 years.
But Devon White tripled, and with 1 out, the passionate Florida fans held their hopes in their hands.
And down goes Renteria.
And now is the pitch.
Okay, it's all up to Chef.
Ball 1, it gets away from Alomar, and White probably could have scored, but thinks better of it.
Stay alive. Stay alive, baby. Stay alive.
Roll to 3rd. Williams. Game 7 tomorrow night.
The Indians had beaten Kevin Brown and the odds. Now, just 1 game remained.
You big guy. Game 7, baby. Game 7. This is it. This is it. Do or die. All the marbles tonight. Tonight, the Marlins take their first World Series championship home.
It was Game 7, the final stop of the journey. Both teams began their quest in Florida. Both would end it here. But only one would claim the crown of baseball's best.
Game 7, what it's all about.
Win or lose, no one in the park was happier than Livan Hernandez. His mother, Miriam Carreras, received last-minute permission to leave Cuba to join her son for Game 7. Jarrett Wright was handed the ball for the most important game of the year. The first rookie to start a World Series Game 7 since Joe McGrain in 1987. His opponent, 11-year veteran Al Leiter, who retired the first 6 men he faced with ease, but opened the 3rd on an ominous note.
And he walks Tomey, who becomes the first man to reach against him.
There we go. We got a little action at first.
Grissom to the plate.
Double play.
And the 3-2 pitch hit toward the hole for a base hit. Tommy will stop at second, and Jarrett Wright comes up in a sacrifice situation.
Too bad OJ isn't up. He can double right now.
Yeah, OJ.
He'll try it again, and he'll bunt it fair. It's a hard bunt. Dalton wanted to go to third, but couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and now has to settle for the play at first with Counsell covering.
After Leiter got the second out with a short pop fly by Vizquel, he faced Tony Fernandez.
But remember, Tony Fernandez, very good hitter from the right side. He hit a line drive to center field in the first inning, so he's not out of this jam yet.
And Fernandez with a liner into center for a base hit. Tommy scores. Grissom is right behind him. It's 2-0 Cleveland. Tony Fernandez, who won the pennant for them with his 11th inning home run at Baltimore in Game 6 of the ALCS, delivers an early hit that could be the decisive hit in the World Series. Could be.
Look at that cheering over there.
It's not over. It's early.
But it was getting late in a hurry, for both Wright and Leiter had risen to the calling of a Game 7.
Leiter.
And on the breaking ball, Bonilla goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the inning. Struck him out with the high fastball. And a called strike three. Leiter struck out the side. Still a 2-0 game.
Jarrett Wright has actually gotten better as this game has progressed. I mean, he's thrown a one-hitter so far.
Leiter left after 6 with 7 strikeouts to his name. Jarrett gave up just 1 hit through 6 and carried his 2-run lead into the 7th. Bonilla had struggled, but his fans held out hope.
He's capable too. I hope we don't hit it on the ground. I go fresh in my wheelchair.
The fans settle back in after the 7th inning stretch, and Bobby Bonilla launches one to deep right. Bonilla sends one out of here. On the first pitch in the bottom of the 7th, the previously slumbering Bobby Bonilla awakens, and it's a 2-1 game.
Following a walk, Jarrett's phenomenal night was over, and the postseason baton was passed in the dugout. The game was now in the hands of the bullpens, both of which had performed admirably. In the 8th, Alfonseca had a 1-2-3 inning, but in the 9th, he walked Matt Williams, and after Alomar's fielder's choice, a change was made.
Leland goes to Heredia. Slender but hard-throwing left-hander from the Dominican Republic. Very effective in this World Series, including 2 innings last night. But Tommy immediately rips one through the right side for a hit. And Alomar's going to try for third and make it ahead of Sheffield's throw.
With 1 out, Heredia was replaced by closer Rob Nen. Down by just 1, Leland and his players knew only too well that there was no margin for error.
Now the 2-1. A bouncing ball, potential double play. Now Renteria comes to the plate, and Johnson with the tag on Alomar.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
When pinch hitter Brian Giles flied out to left, Nen had successfully given the Marlins one more chance.
It's a 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the 9th in Game 7 of the World Series.
Down to our last 3 outs.
Now Lou will be first. A line drive over short. It falls softly in there for a leadoff hit.
Mesa then struck out Bonilla and was 1 strike away from finishing off Johnson. 1 strike.
Come on, CJ! Please, a base hit, base hit.
A line drive to right that drops for a hit. Lou is is on his way to third. Ramirez has no play. Runners at the corners with 1 out. And if you told Craig Counsell, the rookie out of Notre Dame, that his season would come down to this, he would have had to have believed you were joking. All right.
Show some patience. Get a pitch to hit.
Mesa's 1-0 pitch. The 1-1 pitch. A deep drive to right. Ramirez on the run. Makes the catch. Tagging is alone. Game 7 of the World Series is tied.
A 27-year-old infielder who got his first big league hit just 3 months prior had sent Game 7 of the World Series into the twilight zone. Top of the 10th. Nen gives up a single to Fernandez, but strikes out the side. Bottom of the 10th. With 1 out, Mesa allows a single to Renteria. And the 4th ever extra inning World Series Game 7 now swings to Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield, earlier tonight, addressed the players in a very emotional speech and talked about winning this thing and winning it for Jim Leland.
He goes, and Sheffield grounds it to the left side. It's a tough play, and Vizquel will eat it. Sheffield is aboard with an infield hit. Angelosi, 34-year-old, well-traveled veteran, switch hitter. That's a strike, 1 and 2. A good pinch hitter through the years. Mesa's 1-2 pitch to Cangelosi. Taken high. A full count to Cangelosi. 2 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 10th. 2-2 game. The 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3.
With the danger far from over, Hargrove calls on the veteran Charles Nagy to face Moises Alou. Alou flies to right, and a classic series game moves on into the night. Jay Powell is on the mound for Florida in the top of the 11th, and he issues a walk to Matt Williams. Fundamental baseball strategy calls for a bunt, but Alomar?
Sandy squares, bunts in front of the plate. Powell is on it, pegs it to second, and they get the force. The 0-2 pitch, hit to Counsell. There's one. Renteria on to ice and right to complete the double play.
The Marlins had survived another round, and as Bobby Bonilla came to the plate in the bottom of the 11th, both he and 67,000 fans had the same thought in mind.
Hit hard through the middle for a leadoff hit. Now Zahn bats for the first time tonight. Squares to bunt. He lines it back to the mound. Nagy's got it. Fernandez sneaks in behind, but Bonilla is able to get back.
Number 30, the second baseman,
Nagy Diaz. And Counsell punches it to the right side. Fernandez has it go through it. Bonilla will try for third. Ramirez up with him, but there's no play on it. Bonilla dives in.
So now the only choice you have is to load the bases, or that you have a force out at the plate.
It'll be up to Devon White. Nagy works to White. On the first pitch to Fernandez. He's got to come home, and it is in time to Alomar. Well, he got another chance right away. And that's what it means to be a professional ball player.
This year in extra innings, Edgar Renteria drove in the winning run.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
There is nothing in baseball quite like it. Every step a player takes is taken for this moment. And if for everything there is a season, this we know. It took the Florida Marlins just 5 to win the World Series. A man from Ohio lives a 33-year dream when a kid from South Bend scores on a hit by a shortstop from Colombia to help earn a Cuban pitcher the MVP. God bless America. God bless baseball.
I'll tell you, everyone had written both of us off, and we beat the best teams to get here with all the best records, and both of us deserve to be here. And I'll tell you what, I don't think you can find a better finish than in that game right there.
That was outstanding. I mean, I never had any doubt on Edgar. I never had any doubt on anybody, man. We got a bunch of gamers on this team. We got a bunch of guys that never give up, and that's why we're the champions tonight.
It makes all that hard work worth it, While you're going through the season, you ask yourself, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Just look around you. That's why you're doing it. Anybody's going to win the World Series. We wanted Jim Leland to win it because he's a big part of this team, and I think he's one of the reasons that we won the World Series.
No, I can't say 5 years ago that we would have ever dreamed it would have come this quickly. And, well, they're the world champs, and they're full of character, and they made South Florida proud.
2 days later, seemingly all of South Florida gathered to celebrate their new world champions of baseball. Their thoughts brought to life by Gloria Estefan, who thanked the Marlins for reaching the top.
Some days are meant to be remembered. Those days we rise above the stars. So I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb. That the more I believe, all the more that this dream will be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best, put my spirit to the test. If I could if I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. And that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be so much stronger, yes I am. I'd put my spirit to the test if I could reach.
You've been real loud all season. Please stand on your feet and get loud one more time. Let's go fish! Let's go fish! Let's go fish!
Isn't this thing right here a thing of beauty? This is
why we all play, ladies and gentlemen, so we can all say we are part of this, a World Championship team. And we thank all of you in South Florida for being a big part of that for us. You guys were huge in the World Series. Huge.
This is the best World Series party I've ever seen in my life. We partied in San Francisco. We partied in Atlanta. Now we come to party in Miami, baby. Love you all.